Mums with Hustle podcast, episode 484.
Welcome to the Mums with Hustle podcast, where you'll discover everyday mum entrepreneurs killing it in their industry. Learn the secrets you can replicate to create your own success with your host, Tracy Harris.
This episode is all about reminding you of how the most simplest of strategies, I don't even feel like I want to use the word strategy, but the most simplest of actions are the most effective when it comes to marketing yourself and your offers using Instagram and social media in general. Entrepreneurs are classic at overcomplicating things. And I have a theory which, I feel like it's sound. Entrepreneurs by nature are very intelligent people. We are big thinkers. And that is all well and good. It's an incredible thing. That's what enables us to be entrepreneurs, to literally create something where there once was nothing. However, friends, I just want you to sit with this one for a second, because some of you are going to be like, oh my gosh, that's me. How does she know? I feel like I'm being called out. And if you feel like that, it's exciting, first of all. It's like no need to self-shame or judge. It's exciting that this part of you is bubbled up to the surface because it is ready to be released, or it is ready for a shift to happen. Your marketing gets to be so much easier. The most simple strategies are the most effective strategies. However, because you are such a big thinking, problems, solutions person, you also possess the not so great side of that quality, which is that you fail to recognize ease and you choose the harder path. And a large part of this is also conditioning. Like, people are conditioned to work really hard. People are conditioned to complain. People are conditioned to respond to the very positive question of, how are you? With grumbles and complaints about how life is hard, because heaven forbid we answer with joy and with love. And heaven forbid we say that things are amazing. How are you? No, quite often, most people will be conditioned to answer in a negative way, focusing on the parts of their life that are hard and challenging. Now, I'm not saying that life isn't full of hard things and challenges, but I am saying that you need at any given time to have your focus more on the positive things, even if it's just slightly more focus on what's going right and what's easy and the positive in things versus the negative and what's hard and reasons why things won't work. When you start to wire your brain to be more positively focused, and also when you start to wire your brain on, oh my gosh, things actually get to look easy, things get to be easy, you start to realize the power of super simple strategies instead of overlooking the simple and rushing to the more complex and complicated. Because when you skip over the simple and when your brain is just actively wired for hardship, difficulty, struggle, you end up just creating more of that. You end up thinking in ways that keep you experiencing more challenge, more hardship, more stuckness, more slowness. And then you get to keep saying, see how hard things are. And you get to keep living in that paradigm. You get to keep living in that loop. You get to keep living in that cycle. Now, what has all of this got to do with your marketing? A lot, actually. Everything. Because I do believe how we do one thing is how we do all things. So if we've got this approach of everything is hard, we are going to constantly be taking a much harder, slower, unsupportive path so that we can live this self-fulfilling prophecy. I have an incredible friend that I made here in Bali. Shout out to you, gorgeous soul, because you told me that you listen to these podcasts, right? In addition to our conversations. And actually this morning, this beautiful soul came up to me at the gym and she was sharing with me how she's currently marketing, or she should be marketing, a really amazing, exciting, transformative offer But first of all, she went through this cycle of not telling anyone about it, like minimizing it, self-sabotage in the form of like just not really owning it, not really talking about it, not even telling people that she's got this thing and how they can be a part of it. So there's that. Okay. But she's worked through that. Shout out to you. You know who you are. You've worked through that. You are on the other side of that. However, where you've landed, where she's landed, and this is where so many of you have landed, are currently at, will land in the future. And I'm sharing this with you to try to support you through this process, to speed you up through the process, because also this can just be part of your process before you get to your freedom. So I want to share this with you also, and I want to support you through it. But this beautiful soul, this friend of mine, she's now in this era of she's willing to market this offer, but in a really difficult way. And I just spoke to her this morning and I just said, look, there are so many easier ways for you to share this offer with your audience that you haven't even done yet, but you've gone to a real like fancy, polished, highly produced way of sharing that you've got this way of working with you, but we haven't even scratched the surface of the simple, which I am willing to bet I will probably die on this hill, because it's been 10 years of marketing my own business, coaching and mentoring thousands upon thousands of women to create offers, to build personal brands on Instagram, to launch all kinds of offers, whether they're in-person experiences like workshops or retreats or whatever it might be, all the way through to creating online course curriculums, memberships, masterminds, you name it. I've done it myself, from ebooks to audits to coaching, all the things. I've done it myself. I've done the experimenting for you. I've done the scaling. I've done the trial and error. I know what works and I know what doesn't. I also know that some things work for some people and other things don't. And I've had this experience of literally working with thousands upon thousands of female entrepreneurs in all kinds of niches, all around the world. So I've seen a lot. And the reason I can say that the most simple and effective strategies work for everyone is because it's true. I've got the anecdotal evidence and years of experience behind me to be able to say that it is true. Now, that doesn't mean that we can't go out and do fancy, highly produced content. And in this case, I'm talking about video content. Video content where it's very produced and polished. It does seem high quality. Yes, that's important. But it's not the fact that you've produced a high quality video that is going to make people buy. At the end of the day, people need multiple marketing touch points in order to buy anything that you are offering them. And they need to hear your message and also see it in a variety of creative ways. So one creative way could be the highly produced long form or even a short form video, right? But it is very considered. It's beautiful. It's edited. The audio's polished. But we don't want to get so obsessed with that and put all of our eggs in that basket, because that one video or a series even of highly produced, polished, perfect videos is not going to guarantee sales of anything. Just because we went out and we did that thing does not mean that our audience owes us anything. So before you go out and plan your next content or marketing campaign, or you go and drop thousands of dollars on a video producer or on a podcast studio or on a photographer for your next season of headshots, whatever it might be, don't think that the output of those things is going to just make your offers sell. I want you to realize that you need a multitude of touch points, and quite often you need to produce all different types of content in terms of creative. So let's say, for instance, that you're selling a retreat. It really doesn't matter. You can sub out this example for whatever it is that you're selling, okay? And you want to have a video that really speaks to your ideal customer and gets them feeling all of the emotions, because what psychology proves is that what we learn and feel and experience with emotion, we never forget, all right? So you're going to get in there and you're going to do this beautiful amazing video, and it comes back to you and it's all great and you share it. Now, that one video is not going to be the reason why people purchase or sign up or book their spot at your retreat. There are going to be people that don't watch that video at all. It may land in their feed and they don't watch it because they don't typically engage with that style of content. The algorithm is a real thing, my friends. The algorithm shows your people content that they are most likely to engage with. So, for example, if your people are scrolling the For You page and they're responding to videos where people are holding the little microphone, for instance, okay, Instagram is able to tell. Instagram is going to show them more content just like that. Or if they're responding to content where there's food or beverage or milk being poured into a delicious iced latte, and now someone's like stirring that coffee with a metal straw or sipping a matcha or whatever it might be, you are going to find that Instagram serves you more content like that because that is a very currently viral visual hook. So maybe your polished, glossy video doesn't capture their attention. Maybe you need to do something just a little bit more basic. Maybe your audience loves content that shows them how you get ready. Maybe it's a get ready with me as I go to work. Get ready with me as I pack the kids' lunchboxes. And while you're doing that activity, maybe you're mic'd up with a hands-free mic and you're going about that task, but at the same time, your camera's there. You're recording yourself and you are speaking to your audience as if you would a friend. And you can let them know in this style of video what you've got going on in your business, what you've got coming up or who it's for. And you can tell them in a much more organic, socials sort of way. There's also the FaceTime style video where you may hold onto your phone, you may put it on selfie mode and just sit there or walk around. Walking around can be really effective because it keeps people's brains actually stimulated. I mean, as humans, we live in such a fast-paced world, especially with social media now. But that means that our audience can get bored really, really quickly. So what you want to do is sometimes have some movement or something interesting going on in the background, even if it is your pet or, I don't know, maybe you're walking along a busy street. If you've got the courage to do that, put on your mic, face the camera in selfie mode and just walk and talk, kind of like a FaceTime style video. You don't need to look amazing. You don't need to have spent ages doing your makeup or hair or having a nice outfit. Let me tell you, and I was about to clap. I've got my little hands like clapping together, but I don't want to put this audio off. But let me tell you, my most popular and highest converting Facebook and Instagram ad is a video that I recorded selfie style, a FaceTime video style. Like I'm just speaking to the audience. I'm telling them, hey, stop scrolling for a second. I want to share this with you. If you are a woman in business and you're wanting to use Instagram to grow that business, and then I just talk to them about that. So first of all, fancy videos, fancy Canva posts. I'm not saying don't do them. I'm saying that they are part of a wider strategy. So by all means, go and do it, spend the money, get fancy, book the photographer, all of that. But please don't think that that means that you get to hide behind the polish. You don't. And just be prepared for your most effective videos in terms of actually connecting with your audience, but also conversions, meaning sales, people booking in to work with you, hiring you for your service, booking your retreat, purchasing your course, applying for your mastermind, all of that. It is more than likely to happen from a very natural, less curated piece of content. So you want to have a variety, not just the polished stuff. You want to say it in a carousel post. with still images and text on the top. Hey, by the way, I've welcomed quite a few new members into my Social Method Society. If you are interested in joining us, in getting the link to join, please just email hello@mumswithhustle.com. I've had women listen to this podcast and then just email us and say, okay, I actually need to join this thing. I need some help, or I need some accountability, or I just need to be in an environment where doing these marketing things that feel cringe to me right now and will feel normal one day is what everyone else is doing in the space. So it becomes normalized. And that's how we fast track our results, by placing ourselves where our environment is a match for the version of ourselves that we are becoming. We're in the process of becoming, but we need help. And carousels right now are absolutely incredible. I've got a very helpful step-by-step guide on my own viral carousel structure. And I break it down piece by piece so that you understand the teaching and the methodology behind the strategy. And then you also walk away with a whole bunch of swipes and templatized hooks so that you can go and create your own carousels that connect and convert. So if you want that lives inside of the membership, please just email hello@mumswithhustle.com. The price is $100 a month. You can cancel anytime. I don't know if you can actually. Whoops. $100 a month, or you can pay in full for the year. Yeah. So there you go. Just email us and let's sort it out. Let's figure it out. Anyway, marketing doesn't need to be so hard. So this comes back, full circle moment. Are you used to making things hard in your life, in your business, even in your relationships? Are you used to making things hard? Because if you are, or if you come from a culture or a family where hard yakka really is the culture and it's the thing that gets people socializing or thinking that you're awesome or whatever, like that these things become deeply ingrained habits and beliefs. And we end up just creating more difficulty, more challenge, more struggle, when really things don't need to be so difficult. You could just send people an email today that says, hey, insert their name. Are you still wanting to insert whatever their goal is? Launch your course in the next 3 months. Hey, insert name. Are you still wanting to learn how to breastfeed your baby? Hey, are you still wanting to heal your abs and pelvic floor with Pilates? Hey, are you still wanting to, that's so easy. And that would be your whole email. Kiss, kiss, Tracy. Done. I can guarantee you're going to get people writing back to that email. Go and send that email. Take that template and go and send it. This is the sort of stuff that I give my ladies inside of the Social Method Society because, like I said, most entrepreneurs have this chronic way of thinking that overcomplicates things, and then they avoid doing what's hard. So if they're saying to themselves, oh no, I don't have time to send an email. Well, that's because the emails you're sending are really difficult and convoluted, and they take a lot of time for you to write, and they take a lot of time for people to read. And sometimes people don't even want to read them. But email marketing can be so effective for you if you master the art of simplicity. And it's the same for your Instagram marketing. I love teaching content marketing, an Instagram marketing system that leverages online content marketing, email, all of the things, podcasts, all of it, ties it up in one big, beautiful gift with a stunning red bow, but keeping it really simple. Because if it's not simple, first of all, there's a group of people that won't do it because we feel overwhelmed. Who wants to do something that is just going to take so long and feel so heavy in the process? So we'll resist doing it. And then there's people that are just overcomplicating things because they're just so used to making everything in their life be hard, instead of being more in their feminine, making everything just feel like an invitation, like it's easy, because it gets to be easy. When women come into my mastermind, quite often they will say, Tracy, my biggest breakthrough was when you said, what would it look like if it was easy? And for those women where that's their biggest breakthrough, that's because they've been so conditioned to making everything be so tedious and complicated. I guarantee you there's a much easier, faster, more aligned, simple way for you to do anything in your business. But you likely need support and help with that. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to see the forest through the trees. But that's why we all have mentors and guides and coaches. That's why we join masterminds. That's why we join memberships. That's why we do courses, to learn what we don't know, because you don't know what you don't know. And if you're stuck in a loop of making things complicated, you can expect to just do that more and more and more. So marketing gets to be easy. Instagram gets to be easy. The most effective strategies are the simplest ones. So that's what this episode is about. Reminding you the most effective strategies are going to be the most simplest. But also, people need many, many, many marketing touch points, and not everyone responds to the same form of content. For some people, they're going to need to hear about your offer in a carousel post. For some people, they're going to need to hear about it in a FaceTime style Instagram reel. Some people are going to need to hear about it in a very epic movie, sort of perfect, polished, highly produced video. Some people are going to need to hear about it in stories. Some people are going to need to hear about it in an email because they're not on socials. Please don't keep assuming that people aren't interested in your stuff, or assuming that people have heard it enough and you're irritating them. I know some of you have that voice in your head, because I used to have that voice in my head, thinking that if I've said something once or twice, everybody heard it. No, they didn't. They didn't hear it, or they didn't open that email. Don't go getting so emotional about it. And take it from me, as someone who isn't emotional in human design and who needs nothing external to happen to go on an emotional roller coaster of feelings just on any given hour of any given day. I get it. We want to get emotional about things, but this is where we pull ourselves out of it. This is, again, where being in community, having a mentor, having a coach can pull you out of that. So anyway, if you want to come into the Social Method Society, you are so welcome. hello@mumswithhustle.com, and we can chat to you and share with you the different payment options and things like that, and tell you exactly where you would start, because it is a pathway with 6 different stages, and we can let you know exactly where you would start. But I'd love to have that conversation. And if you are further along than audience building, if you are wanting to learn more about designing and creating digital offers that are highly scalable, like stepping out of the one-on-one and stepping more into creating a one-to-many online education experience in whatever format suits you best. And don't worry, maybe you don't know what format, but within this program, you'll come to know exactly which one is right for you. What you need to think about is coming and joining me and some other incredible women inside of Freedom Filled Business, because that's where we are building freedom-filled offers and selling them in ways that feel also freedom-filled and aligned and ethical and scaling, and also where we're working on ourselves to become world-class coaches and facilitators and educators inside of these programs, because there's more and more people creating online programs than ever before, but there's more average to poor experiences than there are great ones. And that's because of the quality of the person leading the program, or because they're really great at what they know. Like, that's not in question. Their experience, their knowledge, all of that is top notch. But when it comes to educating, creating an educational experience that is engaging and transformative, leading people to the outcomes that they want to achieve for themselves, doing it in a creative and fun way, there's a bit of a deficit in the coaching and education space online. And so what we do inside of Freedom Filled Business is that we turn people into exceptional teachers and coaches and facilitators inside of their programs as well, which goes on to those people wanting to come back and work with you again, or inside of another program, or going and telling their friends, or just a whole flood of testimonials of people experiencing incredible things because you designed the program in a way where it was digestible and they did the work and it was fun. So that's Freedom Filled Business. Again, email me, hello@mumswithhustle.com if you want to know about the Social Method Society or Freedom Filled Business. I would love to support you and get back to you. All right, keep it simple. Keep it simple. Simple is best. And I'll see you next week on the Mums with Hustle podcast. Bye.